राधे 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 राधे। सब गाइए मेरे पीछे। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 हरि बोल। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 गोविंद। राधे 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 कृष्ण कन्हैयालाल की जय। ओ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन कवितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीं अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। नमोऽस्तुते व्यासविशालबुद्धे उल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो भावो दुग्धादोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्ससुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। हरि ओम्। जरा हल्के गाड़ी हाथों मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले। जरा हल्के गाड़ी हाथों मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले। जरा हल्के गाड़ी हाथों मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले। जरा हल्के गाड़ी हाथों मेरे राम धीरे धीरे गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले, जरा होले होले गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले। गाड़ी मारी रंग रंगीली पैया है यार दुल्हा, गाड़ी मारी रंग रंगीली पैया है यार दुल्हा, आंगन वाली कल कदीली कल फल वाला राम भैया हल्के गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले, हल्के गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले, सर होले होले गाड़ी हाँको मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले। गाड़ी की रेत में भाई मजल पड़ी है दो, गाड़ी की रेत में भाई मजल पड़ी है दो, घर में पारू तह गया तापी कंदना चोर, भैया हल्के गाड़ी हाँको राम गाड़ी वाले, बोले बोले हरी हाँको राम गाड़ी वाले, बोले बोले गाड़ी हाँको राम गाड़ी वाले, मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले, मेरे राम गाड़ी वाले। I just learned a new bhajan. I was just trying it out. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurudevaya Namaha. Okay, let me welcome all of you to this satsang tonight. So tonight is number 78. Temple. This is the 78th temple we have come to. From all the way in Crabwood Creek. And it is not actually, we have become used to doing this now. At one time, some years ago, we had done 108 nights in the whole Caribbean. Some night we had come here also. St. Lucia and Bahamas and Aruba and everywhere we had, Jamaica and everywhere, St. Martin. But this year, the whole 108 nights in Guyana alone. So we are looking forward to a grand conclusion on the 3rd of May. All of you who have the time and you have somebody to stay at in Georgetown, big grand finale will be there on the 3rd of May. And if you want a place to stay, you can come there and stay at the ashram also. And come back the next day or something. Alright. So, like Bhaiya said, we are doing the whole Bhagavad Gita, all the verses, not just some of the verses. All 700 verses. And now where we have reached? We have reached chapter 13. 1-3. And this chapter is the beginning of the Gyan portion of Bhagavad Gita. So what we have is 3 portions of Bhagavad Gita. One is the Karma Yoga portion. The second portion is called Bhakti Yoga. And the last portion is called Jnana Yoga. So they are divided into 6 chapters each. So this is the beginning of the last 6 chapters. And some of the verses have already gone. Today I have to start on verse number 11. Dharma kshetra kurukshetra samaveta Dharma kshetra kurukshetra samaveta Pandavaschaiva Kimakur Mamata Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvat Sanjaya. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna. Mamata Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvat Sanjaya. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha. Kurvat Sanjaya. Mamata Pandavaschaiva Kurvat Sanjaya. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha. Mamata Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvat Sanjaya. Mamata Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvat Sanjaya. Vaijananya Yogena Bhaktirasya Vichari. Vivek Sevikam Artya Jana Sampadi. Vivek Krishna Kanaya Lal ki Jai. Okay, so I was telling you that in this chapter there are three main topics. One topic is called as Kshetra. Kshetra means this field, this world. So this world is made up of 5 elements. You know that, na? Space, air, fire, water and earth. All our body, mind, intellect, everything is made up of these 5 elements. Space, air, fire, water, earth. So that is the one topic which is there first. Then the other topic which is called as Jnana, which you started seeing I think yesterday or the day before yesterday or which. Jnana. But here, Jnana in this chapter, Jnana means knowledge. It's really those virtues and those qualities and those sanskar which we have to get in our personality in order for us to become fit for Jnana. It's not really Jnanam per se, but the qualities required for acquiring Jnana. Knowledge. And everybody has to have knowledge in life. Don't think that we can get away without having knowledge. And knowledge is essential. Whether it is in the worldly sense or in the spiritual sense, knowledge is essential. In the worldly sense, you may be able to get away. Let us say a person doesn't go to school and doesn't get any knowledge, right? He'll still do some menial job where knowledge is not required, isn't it? And he might get away. And in fact, he can become very well-to-do also without knowledge, without worldly knowledge. But without spiritual knowledge, nobody can live happy life. We say, no, Swamiji, I see people with a lot of money and no knowledge, but they have a happy life. You don't know their life. You have to be in their shoes to know. Happy life requires knowledge of Shastra, spiritual knowledge. And if we want to get along in the world, we have to have worldly knowledge. But Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad and all of this, they are talking about spiritual knowledge, not worldly knowledge. Worldly knowledge, you don't need Gita. You just go there, some mela or somewhere, bazaar, go in the market. You will get worldly knowledge. Isn't it? Spiritual knowledge is what the scriptures teach about. Now see, if a person wants to learn accounting or engineering or any such law, all that, he doesn't need scriptures, he just go to law school, isn't it? Engineering school, med school. What do you need scriptures for? Half of them who go there don't believe anything in God. Correct or not? And they succeed. They get good degrees and good jobs also. So you don't need scriptures for any of that thing. We need scriptures for happiness. And how much happiness we want? We want total happiness. We don't want partial happiness. And total happiness in Sanskrit language is called as mukti. What is it called? Mukti, moksha. And that is what all human beings, all creatures want actually. Mukti. You see? So, the qualities required to get that. What qualities we have to imbibe? All the virtues, all the wonderful lifestyle habits and all such things, internally and externally, which we have to acquire before we can make ourselves qualified for this knowledge. That is what is called Jnanam here in this chapter. And that started already, and I think that will end in the next verse. 2 verses left. And the next topic which is called as Jnana. Jnana. Jnana means that thing which ought to be known. When we say knowledge, knowledge of what? Knowledge of Paramatma. And Paramatma and myself, we are one and same. It means to say, I am part and parcel of Paramatma. I am never separated. Not like Paramatma is somewhere in the sky, Bhagavan is somewhere in the sky and I am here. Then that is not Sanatana Dharma. In Sanatana Dharma, Paramatma is here, there and everywhere. In the 11th chapter, you all were not there. 2 chapters before, in the 11th chapter, there, a very wonderful line was given. Most important line. Sarvam samapnoshi tatosi sarvaha. Means because Paramatma pervades everything in this universe, Paramatma is everything in this universe. That is why in Ramayana, I'm sure all of you would heard. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Syavara Ramachandra ki Jai. Ishvara, Lord, Supreme Lord of this whole universe, the master and controller of the universe, Ishvara, and Jiva, they are made from the same stuff. You know, like in the ocean, if you do like this in the ocean, they say this is one drop of water. You put your finger in and you identify one drop in the ocean. That drop and the ocean is one and same or not? Same. What difference? So we are the drops. Ishvara Amsa Jiva. Jiva is the Amsha. This much of Ishvara. But Ishvara is made up of Satchitananda. And so I am also made up of Satchitananda. Like the ocean is made up of H2O. And the drop also is made up of H2O, water. You see? So like that, Ishvara is everywhere. And that Ishvara and I, we are one and same. This knowledge is Jnayam. This knowledge is what to be known. And the rest of the chapter will talk about this only. That thing which is to be known. If I know H2O, I know every drop of water and every ocean, isn't it? Even if it is Mediterranean Ocean, or if it is Pacific Ocean, or it is Atlantic Ocean, or whichever ocean. Once I know H2O, I know all ocean. So here, that Jnaya Vastu, thing to be known, is the third topic of this chapter. So now where we have reached verse number 11 is the second topic. What is that? That we call it Jnanam. The virtues and values that we have to imbibe in our own personality. And this is the most important thing. See, how long does it take to eat? Well, you take about 5 minutes to eat, isn't it? 5 minutes? But how long does it take to prepare the food? Well, you have to go there by the market and get vegetables, take a taxi, come home, or drive, whatever you do. So much time, right? Go there, get vegetables, come home, peel them, light the stove. One fellow, he lit the stove, gas stove, and he waited for a while and then put the pot on the stove. So the other fellow asked, why are you waiting? Why are you not putting the pot? He said, no, I'm waiting for the stove to heat up. He actually did that. Once you light the gas, you don't have to wait for it to heat up and all. Anyway, it takes so long to make the food, but to eat the food, that is why people are absent when making, and only time to eat they are present. Have you seen that? So, the real work is in these verses which preceded yesterday and day before yesterday and whichever days, and the last two verses which are left today. The real work is here to imbibe those values and virtues and, lifestyle and practices and all that to make ourselves fit. University only takes 4 years, but to get to that 4 years or 3 years, right? How many years before you have to go to school? From kindergarten, isn't it? Up years, 18 years, whatever, 15 years, only to finish those 3 years in university. And if you don't do those 15 years, you can't get in. Right. So now, the last two verses are left in that section where there is preparation in our own personality. And we just chanted one of them. Maicha ananya yogena bhakti ravya vicharini. Maicha ananya yoga. Bhakti. Unwavering bhakti for Bhagwan. We all have to develop that in our personality. Unwavering bhakti. And the bhakti should progress till it comes to a state where I don't see myself as separate from Bhagwan. Bhagwan is always with me and I'm always with Bhagwan. It should progress to that stage. That is the idea. So I start how? I start simply. In the morning time, I collect a flower and I come and I speak with Bhagwan. I say, Prabhu, I brought this for you. So I'm seeing myself as separate in the beginning. Bhagwan is there and I am here. We all start like that only. But that should progress. No. Bhagwan is not only there. Bhagwan is also in the flower. See, the first stage is I just bring it and offer it to Bhagwan. Second stage, I see now Bhagwan is also in the flower which I just offered to him. So that is his flower. I brought his own flower and gave it to him. That is like children. Children do that. They take their own father's money and buy a Father's Day present for their father. Whose money is that? Father's money only, isn't it? In the same way, we pluck Bhagwan's flowers because you could make a flower. Take soil and make a flower. Let us see. Where did it come out? From your air or what? You can't make a flower. Nobody could make one. No man and no human, no science also. Only that humble little flower plant can make a flower, isn't it? We can make fake flowers that people have in their living room and all that kind of thing. Fake flowers we can make, but not a real flower. But that flower belongs to Bhagwan. So the second step now, I realized, oh, it's Bhagwan's flower only. I picked that flower and I come here and I gave it. Bhagwan, this is your Tera Tujko Arpan. And like that progress slowly, oh, if Bhagwan is in the flower, Bhagwan is in me also. He can't just be in the flower, in some things and not in other things. He's in everything like that. So slowly, I progress in my bhakti like that. And then I satisfy this line. Maicha ananya yogena bhakti avyabhicharini. And then I have to make sure that my devotion like that is unflinching. I am with Bhagwan all the time and Bhagwan is with me all the time. Otherwise, what we have, we have different type of bhakti. Some people have convenient bhakti. You know what is convenient bhakti? Only when we want something. Then we have devotion for Bhagwan. But one fellow went to the Lord and he told, Prabhu, give me $1 million now, US dollars. Please give me $1 million US dollars now. When I come up to your loka, your world, I'll pay it back. So people have all kind of bargain with Bhagwan. He give me $1 million now. When I come up there, I'll pay it back. Bhagwan say, Bhaiya, don't worry, it ready here. The money ready here. Come for it. Come. If you want the money. So we have that type of convenient bhakti for Bhagwan when we want something. Only when something happen. Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. In sorrow, that time we quickly develop bhakti for Bhagwan. When some sorrow comes. So they call convenient bhakti. Then there's another type of bhakti called a dhulmul bhakti. Dhulmul bhakti, shaky bhakti. Shaky means one day I remember Bhagwan, next day forget. Then next day but yesterday I forgot to do my worship. So one day in, one day out. Shaky, wavering like that. But what Bhagwan is talking about here is avyabhicharini bhakti, means to say bhakti which is unflinching, unwavering, like that. Then Vivikta Desha Sevitvam, these are all nice words. This is a most wonderful word in Bhagavad Gita, favorite word of mine. Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Aratir Jana Samsadi. This is how to know that your spiritual practice is really improving. It's a measuring rod. What is that? I enjoy my own company. Otherwise, many of us, we cannot do without friends, we cannot do without the neighbor, we cannot do without this one, we cannot do without that one. That is sign of a very weak personality. I should be able to be strong and stand on my own 2 feet. Correct. See? The boy is saying. Stand on my own 2 feet. And I should be able to say, I am okay by myself. Okay, what if there is nobody? No problem, I am. This is a measuring rod. When we have reached that state, that means to say, now we have really ascended spiritually. But I am good. I am happy with myself, by myself, through myself. I am fine. And if I, oh God, don't leave now. If you leave, I go die. If you leave, I would die. That is the way state of weakness yet. And a weak person In the Upanishads, it is said, a weak person will never reach Bhagwan. Strong we have to be. So here it says, Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Aratit Janasamsadi means to want to escape the crowds and to be by yourself, because when you're by yourself, you can think about Bhagwan. When you're in the market and everybody quarreling, hey, how much are the okra today? How much is the bora? How much were the plantain? Hard, everybody shouting. You could remember Bhagwan that time? And purely honking horn, one want to pass, and the next one want to bring vegetables, and another one bargaining. No, plantain too expensive. You could remember Bhagwan there? No. So, one who eschews crowds, I don't want to be in this crowd. I want to go and sit down quietly so that I can reflect on Bhagwan. I can be by myself with my Paramatma, with my Bhagwan. Like that. That is what that line means. And it's a measuring rod. And if I say, many people cannot do without company. Our Puja Gurudev used to say a very nice thing, Let me tell you exactly what he used to say. If you are not comfortable with your own company, you should not go and inflict your company on others. This is a very strong line. Means to say, I should be comfortable with my own. Yes, that thing. This is a mark of spirituality. Please remember this thing. And Peter continues now in the last verse in this section, which is talking about things which we have to develop in our personality, which he is calling as Gyan, but they are actually qualifications for Gyan, for knowledge. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri. सब गाइए. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna. Adhyatmaya nityatvam tattva darshanam. Etadjnanamiti proktam yanam. Etadjnanamiti proktam tajnanam yadato nyapa. Jai Shri Krishna. Etadjnanamiti proktam tajnanam yadato nyapa. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna. Krishna Kanaya Lal ki jai. I just put a new tune for this Bhagavad Gita verses, so it's not coming so clear yet. We were singing two other tunes all the time. So today your temple is getting the first taste of the new tune. Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. Right. So now, Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam means, see, in this world, right? In this world, when we come here, human beings are said to be very, very inquisitive, correct? So you see the little children, they don't know what is in the TV, but they go there and they press an electrical socket. Yeah? So you have to be careful. They will take a spoon and they want to know. The mother cooking and there's a hot tower on the stove. He wants to know what's going on top of there. And he put his hand on the tower. You know that? And dogs, cats, all of them, they always want to know what is behind our wall, you know. Inquisitiveness is the natural inclination of jivas. Jivas always want to pry and go a little bit, you know, see what is there. That is the way the jiva acquires knowledge, right? So when the fella puts his hand on the tower for the first time, he gets enough knowledge. Next time he will not. Isn't it? Next time he will not put it there again. So now, like that, jivas have been acquiring knowledge. And if we are born as a human being in this world, we can learn so many various types of knowledge. Now let me tell you that thing. Huh? See, you can learn mathematics and chemistry and biology and physics and engineering and medicine and so countless things you can learn. Nah? Accounting and or you can learn how to plant vegetables and sell in the market and make a lot of money, and we can learn all the tricks of the trade. But I said tricks of the trade. We can learn countless things. But I want to ask you something. Any of those things which we learn in this world is any guarantee of anything in this world? Let me just put that another way. If I learn medicine and I become a doctor, right? Does that guarantee that I will not become sick? Are doctors get sick just like everybody else? Doctors get sick just like everybody else. I just met a doctor. That fellow, doctor for so many years, healthy every day, exercising, zoom. I said, how are you looking so these days? What happened? Amiji, I was on a flight to Germany and the plane had to make a emergency landing in London. He get a heart attack on the plane. Doctor! I'm not a real story. This is not anything I heard. Real story. He telling me himself. Now see, that, and I have seen it everywhere. So, if you learn medicine, that guarantees anything? No. I'm subjected to all the vagaries of samsaric existence no matter what I learn in this world. Doesn't matter what I learn. But if I get spiritual knowledge, in spite of having, see, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he had cancer in his throat. Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharishi had cancer in his joints. These are all great saints and Mahatmas, right? And, you know, they were operating and cutting off part of his flesh. No anesthesia. No anesthetic, nothing. And he was just looking. Oh, they cut off our next piece. And in our case, the doctor only had to hold the needle like this and we don't set a ball. Correct? Some people, when they see the needle, they faint. So with spiritual knowledge, that person can bear anything in this world because the world has positive and negative. But spiritual knowledge, it is guaranteed that that person will all be in the Bhaja Govindam. There is a nice verse which describes this person, one who has acquired spiritual knowledge. See this verse. Yogarato va Yogarato va Bhaja Govindam. Yogarato va Yogarato va Yes, ya Brahman Ramate Govindam Bhaja Namate Krishna Kanaya Lal ki jai. So the person who has this spiritual knowledge, yasya brahmani ramate chittam, nandati, doesn't matter what happens, he may get cancer, get this, get anything, but he all the time reveling in Bhagavan. He forgets that he has cancer. And in our case, we get cancer yet and we don't worry. Oh God, I wonder if I get cancer, now what will happen? If I get diabetes, what will happen? Like from before itself we are worried. And he has it and nothing. This is spiritual knowledge. Here it's called Adhyatma Jnana. Adhyatma Jnana. This is a big word, but don't get scared with big word. This is knowledge of Bhagwan. Means I have to all the time, if I am not settled in that knowledge of Bhagwan, that is what I should be aiming for. In other words, I should understand this very simple thing here. Now here is the pointer to end that. What is the point? If I get any of this worldly knowledge, that guarantees nothing. And if I get the spiritual knowledge, I am guaranteed I will be in bliss all the time. That is the guarantee. No worldly knowledge could guarantee anything. Right now, if I ask you questions about that, you will see that. A person who has any university degree, is he guaranteed a job? No. He will be looking for a job for such a long time, he will not get a job also. Then is he guaranteed health? Is he guaranteed a good marriage? Guaranteed good children? Guaranteed wealth? What are degree will guarantee? Health, wealth, nothing. You see? So Adhyatma Jnana, Nityatvam, all the time. This is what I should be seeking. If I am not lodged there, this is my goal. Tattva Jnana Artha Darshana. I want to see Paramatma. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to roll on the ground, roll and cry. I have to see Bhagwan. Like that. Etas jnanamiti proktam ajnanam yataton yatha. All this is called ajnana. Means this should be my aim, my goal, my purpose, my direction, my inclination, my aspiration, my ambition. This is I should be aiming for Paramatma only. That is the only thing that can guarantee anything in this world. There is no other guarantee about nothing. You see? So that ends that one section, and now Jnaya Vastu. Jnaya Vastu means the thing which ought to be known is now discussed in the following verses. What is to be known? Paramatma. I told you, we are inquisitive now. All of us are inquisitive. We want to know this, we want to know that, we want to know that, know the other thing. Right? The Gita is telling you should try to know Paramatma. That is the most important thing to know. See. Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna. Yeyam yatta pavachyami yatta jnatvam bhakti. Anadimat Param Brahma Nasattam Nasagoryate. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna. Jai Hare Krishna. Krishna Kanaya Lal ki Jai. Nyayam yattat pravakshyami yajñātva amritam ashnuti. So what I was just telling you just now, Bhagavan is telling Arjuna now. Arjuna, my dear, listen. I am going to tell you that thing which if you know, you will experience bliss, bliss, bliss all the time, and none of the sorrows of this world. Because once you are living in this world, there will be joy and sorrow. One day joy, one day sorrow, isn't it? Like one man was saying, I don't know what is happening with my blood pressure. One day it goes up, one day it goes down. One day it goes up, one day it goes down. One day it goes up and forgets to come down. So that also is not good, isn't it? You just go up and forget to come down. Or if you go down and forget to come, in trouble. Huh? Yeah. So, Bhagavan says, the only thing that is going to bring this eternal joy in this world is when we know that reality. Know Paramatma. Know the most important thing to be known. In the Upanishad it is said, having known which, nothing else is left to be known. Otherwise, in this world, you think you can finish all knowledge? Never, not possible. In one thing only, you cannot know everything. Really, if you have to study this flower, one flower only, you cannot know everything about that flower. One thing. Science also can't know everything about one thing. I met a fellow once, he was doing a PhD. This is the highest degree you could get, a PhD. On what? The germs found on the tip of your finger. What are the germs found there? And he wrote a whole PhD on that. And you think that's complete germs? You mean complete the whole topic? No. There are so many things which he will not know about that also. So he says here, Nyayam yattat pravakshyami yajñātva amritam ashnute. Means, I'm going to tell you about that reality, knowing which you will be in bliss all the time. That is the idea. And that reality now, he starts immediately. Bhagavan doesn't waste time also. Anadimat. It is beginningless. The reality is beginningless. And please remember, in Sanatana Dharma, we talk about a beginningless universe. The universe in Sanatana Dharma, Paramatma and this Jiva, all three things. Because Jiva, J, Jagat, this world, and Jagadishwara, the Paramatma, the Lord, all three are Anadi. This word is coming throughout Bhagavad Gita, Anadi. Beginningless. In Sanatana Dharma, we don't have anything like one day God was sitting there and he was a little bit bored and he was feeling lonely and he alone was there and poor fellow and he said, let me make others, I will have some friend. There is no such thing in Sanatana Dharma. Anadi, beginningless. We have always been there. Bhagavad Gita starts like that. You have always been there. Bhagavan is telling, I have always been there. And all these kings who are ready here for battle on this battlefield of Kurukshetra, they have always been there. Gita starts like that. So, this reality, Paramatma, is Anadimat. Param Brahma is supreme, absolute reality. Nasat, na asat, uchyate. It is not sat, no asat. Meaning to say, we go on saying Paramatma is Sat, Chetananda. We go on saying Paramatma is like this and like that. But really, that is from our, like the three blind men trying to figure out what is an elephant. What three blind men trying to figure out what is an elephant? One of them hold the leg. And he said, aha, elephant is like a tree. Because he hold the leg. And next one hold the trunk. He said, aha, elephant is like the branch of the tree. Third one hold the tail. Elephant is like a switch. Swish. Swish, you know swish. No, elephant is like tree or what? And branch of tree and swish. All of them came into contact with some aspect of the elephant, and so they are describing that elephant based on that aspect which they came in contact with. So we, with our little mind, we cannot conceive of the infinite reality. So we say all sorts of things about the reality. Bhagavan is saying that reality is way beyond our mind. It is neither sat nor asat, means neither real nor unreal. Real and unreal is things we talk about. Real and unreal. Like dreams are not real. And now this satsang is real. Right? Here I'm talking to you and you are listening. This is real, we say. And dreams, not real. Because in dream, I see an elephant flying. That can be real. An elephant could fly or what? And dream, I see myself flying. I've seen myself flying many times. In dream. I could fly or what? I go on this roof and try to fly. Then what happened? The body will come down and I will go up. So I can fly, not real. But real and unreal is things, words we know. Paramatma is beyond real and unreal. This is the meaning. Then Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Sarvata Panipadam Tante Sarvato Shishiro Sarvata Shruti Malloke Sarvamavrikyate Pati Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Kanaya Lal ki jai. Sarvata Panipadam Tat Sarvatok Shishiro Mukham. Bhagavan has hands and feet and eyes and mouth, faces, heads everywhere. The Lord in me to say, if Lord pervades everything, and if He is everything, that means this head and these eyes and your eyes and these hands and these feet, they all belong to the Lord, isn't it? That is why Tulsidas is written in Ramayana. I'm sure all of you would have heard also. Binu pad chalai sunai binutana Dharati matarai karama bedinana Pad chalai, binu pad chalai, nana Shri Ram Dar binu kalai karam vidhinana Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya without feet. Bhagwan moves everywhere because all your feet is his feet only. So he doesn't need feet. He is walking everywhere because we are walking everywhere. Na? Karabinu, karai karamabidina. Without hands, he is doing everything. Means all hands are his. Those verses from Ramayana and these verses from Bhagavad Gita, they come together. Sarvata pani padam tat sarvato kshishi. Yes, eyes and heads and mouths and feet and hand everywhere. Like that. Sarvata shruti malaloke, ears everywhere, listening to everything. Sarvama vritya tishtati. He stands pervading all things in this universe. I started by telling you that from the 11th chapter. Sarvam samapnoshi tatosi sarvaha. Then he continues now in number 15. See. Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Krishna Kanaya Lal ki jai. Sarvendriya Guna Bhasam. You know, because just now he was telling, I was telling, all his heads, all his hands, feet, eyes, head, everything, ears, they belong to Bhagwan only. So, when these eyes are seeing, that is Bhagwan expressing through these eyes. That is what Bhagwan does. He expresses through the talent of seeing. He expresses through the talent of thinking. He expresses through the talent of walking. So all that is going on. Remember, we are telling our bhakti should improve. Now, first, I pick the flower and I come here and I offer it to Bhagwan. So I see that flower different, Bhagwan different, I am different. That's how we start. Then, after doing that for a long while, I get sufficient amount of chitta shuddhi, purity of mind. Then I start thinking, oh no, Bhagwan is there in this flower also, And this flower belongs to Bhagwan also. And so the next time when I come, I change my attitude. No, I am giving Bhagwan his own flower. And that also will improve later on when I get more purity of mind. What? Are Bhagwan has plucked his own flower and now he is giving him to himself. Because he is the one who pervades everything like that. In stages, we evolve. So I was talking about that before. So now, here is the deepest stage of all of that. When his eyes are seeing, when his voice is talking, When his hands are moving, it is Bhagwan who is doing everything. I mean, there Bhagwan is listening also and shaking his head. Like that. How Bhagavad Gita takes us to the highest pitch of spirituality, This is the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. And from this 13th chapter onwards, this is the drift of the teaching. 13th chapter onwards is Gyan portion. This is all knowledge. Sarvendriya gunabhasam. He is the one who is expressing through the senses. By the functioning of the senses, we know the presence of Paramatma. By the functioning of all our faculties, we know the presence of Paramatma. Otherwise, you think that, look here, these senses could function by themselves or what? You can take out this eye and turn it around and watch yourself. No. These eyes are functioning and seeing only by the grace of Paramatma. Paramatma is only functioning through them, in other words. Sarvendriya gunabhasam, sarvendriya vivarjitam. And Paramatma also does not need eyes to exist. He can exist with eyes or without eyes. You see, we wear clothes, but without clothes you die or what? We will not die. We are born without clothes, nah? We just wear clothes because of social custom and this and that and society and all that. But without clothes, clothes is not essential for me. Now without clothes I will die. No animal wear clothes. They don't die. So we wear it, but it is not essential. In the same way, all these senses and these eyes and all the faculties and all is not essential for Bhagavan. He can exist without. Yeah. It means if these eyes and everything go, Bhagavan will still remain as he is. That is the idea. He is independent of all of them. Sarvendriya guna vivarjitam. Sarvendriya vivarjitam. Asaktam sarvavritchaiva guna nirgunam guna bhoktricha. He is without gunas, qualities, traits, characteristics, but at the same time, he is the one who is sustaining all the traits and characteristics and qualities in the world. And sarvavritchaiva, sustainer of the whole universe. Bahirantascha bhutanam. He is inside and outside of all things. You see, once the Guru, he gave a banana each to 3 boys. I want you all to go and eat this banana when nobody is seeing. Go somewhere when nobody will see you and eat this banana. One boy went behind the school and he ate the banana. He said, nobody saw me. One fellow went and hid inside the cane field and ate the banana and said, nobody saw me. The other boy, wherever he went, he thought, Bhagwan is seeing me. The Lord is seeing me. He went behind the school in the cane field. Anywhere I go inside the house, anywhere I go, Bhagwan is seeing me. So he came back and he told the Guru, Guruji, I tried to eat this banana, but I couldn't eat. I realized wherever I went to eat it, Bhagwan was seeing me. Yeah. So I could not. Therefore, this line is Bahirantascha bhutanam. He is inside and outside of all beings, all things. In the 15th chapter is coming up. If you have time, please come to the temple where it will be here somewhere. And in the 15th chapter, he said, I am there in your stomach also digesting the food. Bhagwan is there in our stomach digesting food. Am Vaishvanaro bhutva praninam deham ashrita pranapana samayukta pachami annam chatu. I am digesting all the 4 types of food which is there in your stomach. That time you will learn what is 4 types of food. When the chapter 15 comes. 2 chapters from now. So, I am there inside and outside of all beings. Charame, acharam, charame vacha. In all moving and unmoving things. In the world we have moving things and we have things which are also unmoving. Like tree, when you plant a tree here now, right? That fellow doesn't move. He stays right here only for the rest of his life, isn't it? Wherever you plant. He's called acharam. And all of us, we are called charam, moving everywhere. Charam and acharam. Bhagwan pervades everything. Sukshmatvatada vijneyam. Durastam chantike chatat. Because Bhagwan is sukshma, it is very difficult for us to know him. Just now we were talking, na? It's difficult for us to know. Sukshma is a very technical word in the Upanishads, in the Vedas, sukshma. Sukshma means subtle. Subtle means, and let me give you an example, so then you'll understand this sukshma word in Sanskrit. Here is the example. Now see, this thing, you can experience this with your 5 senses, isn't it? You can see it, you can touch it, you can hear it, you can taste it if you want. You can experience this with all your 5. You could smell it also. Right, 5 senses. So this thing in Sanskrit is called a sthula. Sthula means gross. But there are many things in the world which you cannot experience with your 5 senses. Like the air in this room. Can you see it? The air inside the temple. Can anybody see the air? You can feel it. That's one sense. But you can't see it. You can't hear it. Like that, certain senses cannot experience that thing. That thing is called sukshma. So this is sthula, the air is sukshma. And if you keep going, so there are some things in the world which 5 senses could experience. Then there are some things which only 4 senses can experience. Then there are some things which only 3 senses can, like that. Then 2 senses, then 1 sense. Actually, space can only be experienced by your air. You have to study that a little bit, but I am just telling you now. Space can only be experienced by air. That is the last one, only 1 sense organ. And Bhagwan is more sukshma than space also. That is why sukshmatvat tada vigneya. That is the meaning of this word. He is more subtle even than space. None of the sense organs and no mind, intellect, nothing can perceive that Paramatma. That is the idea. So subtle. Sukshmatvat tada vigneyam durastam chantikya chattat. Now, these type of words which come in Bhagavad Gita, and this tad ejati, tad nejati comes in the Upanishad and all that kind of thing. Words like that, right? Now science is coming slowly to discover all these words. And you know how many billions and billions of dollars they spent to find out all of these things? And they could have buy Bhagavad Gita for $2 and they would have find out all of these things. Let me tell you what science is telling now. Science is telling like this. There is something called a quantum field. Nowadays cutting edge science, quantum mechanics and quantum science and all. Like quantum field. And from that field emerges an electron. Only when I experience the electron. And from that field itself emerges a proton. The electron is negative and proton is positive, correct? In the atom. So from the field emerges an electron which is negative, and from the same field emerges a proton which is positive. And that thing is experienced, is only seen when we see it. Otherwise, it is not there at all. It means it dissolves in the field and emerges when you see it. The proton also dissolves and emerges when you see it. It means particles are emerging and dissolving all the time. So now, the field is positive or negative? Because if an electron comes out, which is negative, and a proton comes out, which is positive, what is the field? Well, the field is both positive and negative at one and the same time. Because if a negative can come out from it, from the quantum field, that means the field has to be negative. And if a positive can come out from it, a proton, that means the field has to be positive. So now what? The field is both positive and negative at one and the same time. This is now science is teaching this kind of thing. This is where it has reached. And now here it is what we are telling. But Paramatma is near and far at the same time. No, you in your ordinary language, can you ever point to something which is near and far at the same time? And if everything is near, it is near. And if it is far, it is far. And in the Upanishad, this comes from the Upanishads, which have many other lines. It moves and doesn't move at the same time. Now, all of these words which are there in the Upanishads from thousands and thousands and thousands of years, now science is coming to verify all of these words, and they spend billions and trillions of dollars to verify it. And if they just believe if they had just believed the Upanishads and believed the Bhagavad Gita, there were no need to spend all of those trillions of dollars. We could have feed all the poor people in the world, isn't it? They spent so much trillions. But anyway, this thing goes deeper, but I see my time is running away. I have to move on. I have to start stuff at 7:30. Right. So, he says, this reality, Paramatma, is near and far at the same time. Moves and doesn't move at the same time. It is and it is not at the same time. All the contradictory pairs which you think, which we think. This is Paramatma. It is way beyond our description, our comprehension. That is the idea. Then, next verse. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam eva cha stutam Uha bhartrikakajneyam Prasishnu prabhave Uta bhartrikyakajneyam Prasishnu prabhave Krishna Kanaya Lal ki jai, Avibhaktam Vibhakteshu, Vibhaktam Vivachastitam. Now let me just, the example which is used to explain, these are all very difficult words in Sanskrit. These are all big Sanskrit words. So the example which is used for this is like this now. This temple was not always there. This long, let's say 200 years ago, this temple was not there. So what was here? Big open space. No walls and nothing, right? Big open space. Right. So now we come and put up this one wall, 2 walls, 3 walls, 4 walls. Right? We put up 4 walls. And what we did now, we divided the space. We say now, this is inside space and that is outside space. We divided, right? Now, is that any real division of space? No. Actually, that is only an illusion created by our own mind. You know why? The space is one unbroken space. Inside this 8 inches of wall there, right? The space is there or not? The wall is occupying that 8 inches, correct? So in the 8 inches there is space, and on this side there is space, and on that side there is space. We appear to have broken up the space. That's called an appearance. Abhasa roop in Sanskrit. And that space is very much there. It did not go anywhere. It is inside that wall. It is that the wall is occupying that space. And that is proved when we break down that wall, the 8 inches will be there or not. The 8 inches did not go anywhere. So if you have 8 inches here, and you have all this on this side, and you have all that on that side, nothing went anywhere, correct? We appear to have broken up the space, but really we cannot break up space. That space is very much there, doesn't go anywhere. So it's the same thing about Paramatma, these 2 lines are telling now. Paramatma also appears to be broken up, but there is you, there is me, there is he, there is she, there is it, that tree, this building, that sky, that star, that moon. Paramatma appears to be broken up into all of these things. But really, Paramatma is broken up into nothing. This is the meaning of this phrase here. Avivaktam vivakteshu vivaktam vivachasthitam. Now see, one more thing I have to tell you. All of these lines require years and years and years of reflection. How many years I teaching Bhagavad Gita? Look, these two teachers here, they teaching Bhagavad Gita for the last 10 years. And I'm teaching, I don't know how many years. I can't count even. And how many years of reflection. So if you, one more thing I should have told you in the beginning. If you don't get it in this satsang, don't worry, you have all the time in the world. If you don't get it, don't worry, you have all the time. Because when we die, where we go? We come back, right? Right here. Again, Sanatan Dharma, we believe in reincarnation. Na? Bhagavan says, Jatasya hi dhruva mrityu, who is born will die. But dhruvam janma mritasya, who has died will certainly be born again. In the second chapter he told. So don't worry if you don't get it. But now these type of lines, they require a lot of reflection for a long time. Bhuta bhartri chatajnyayam grasishnu prabha vishnu cha. This Paramatma Bhagavan is the supporter, sustainer of all beings in this universe. And he is the one thing to be known, and it is from him all things dissolve and all things rise. Mayyeva sakalam jatam, mayi sarvam pratishthitam, the Upanishad said. In the first person using. From me only all things rise and all things dissolve and again rise. You know, like all these trees which you see, right? They rise from the earth, they live for some time, then they die and they again merge in the earth and again they rise. So the whole universe is like that, coming from Bhagavan, staying in Bhagavan for some time and then again merging with Paramatma. This is the meaning of Grasishnu, Paramavishnu. It devours and dissolves everything and again manifests everything over and over. Jyotishama pita jyotihi tamasat paramuchyate. And he is the light of all lights, beyond all darkness. Light in our Sanskrit language and Sanatan Dharma represent knowledge. He is the knowledge of all knowledge. It is the light of consciousness, beyond all darkness of ignorance. In Paramatma, there is no such thing as ignorance. We are ignorant. I mean, I don't know what is behind this wall. Ignorant means I don't know. And there are so many countless things which I know. Suppose you make a list like this, right? All the things which I know here, make one list. Another list, all the things which I don't know here. Which list will be longer? And this list here which I know will be this much. And this list which I don't know, that will go end from here to Georgetown. Because there are so many countless things that we don't know, and there are only few things which we know. So he said here, he is beyond all such ignorance. We have ignorance. I don't know. I don't know countless things. But Paramatma is beyond all ignorance. Jnanam nyayam jnanagamyam. He is knowledge. He is that thing to be known, and he is the means by which that thing is known also. Right? All together. Hridhi sarvasya vishtitam. And he is there in all the heart of everything. He's at the root, at the core of all things in the universe. Don't think Bhagavan is somewhere else and Bhagavan not seeing me and this and that. He is at the heart of all things. And the last verse in this section will now. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare 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 Krishna. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam nyeyam chottam samasatah. Jai Shri Krishna, मद्भावाय प्रपद्यते। जय श्री कृष्ण जय हरे कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण जय हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण जय हरे कृष्ण। कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय। इति क्षेत्रम तथा ज्ञानम ज्ञेयम चोक्तम समासतः। This is, he said, Bhagavan is now what you call concluding one portion of this chapter in this verse. He said, I have told you about Kshetram, this world which is made up of the 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. Then I have told you about Jnanam, knowledge, which means Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Kshantirajyavam ityadi in the previous temples and all you would have seen. And today we saw the last 2 verses. All the traits and qualities and characteristics and virtues and all such things that we are supposed to develop in our life. To be free from ego and all of those type of things. We would have seen in the last few days, right? So Bhagavan said, I am told about that also. And finally, I have told about Jneyam. Samasataha means briefly. Bhagavan cannot go on talking, incessantly, endlessly. Briefly, he has told about that thing which ought to be known. And I told you, there are so many things we can know in this world, but the one thing which is worth knowing is Paramatma. And we'll come to find out that my nature and Paramatma nature is one and same, no different. That is why we sing all the time, na? I'm sure all of you have sung this before. Mano buddhya hankar chitta vinaham na cha shrotra jekve na cha jnana netre. Mano buddhya hankar chitta vinaham na cha shrotra jekve na cha jnana na cha vyoma bhumi na tejo na vayu chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham chidananda shivoham shivoham chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. All of you would have heard it already and you would have sung it already and so many. What is it saying? My nature is Chit Ananda Rupa. Satchit Ananda, what we say. My nature is like that, pure bliss. So we sing it all the time. And that is the nature of Paramatma. He is also called as Satchit Ananda. I am Shiva. My nature is the nature of Shiva. Same. Like that. Right? So, that is the knowledge which is worth knowing. And that Bhagavan said, I have told you that knowledge already. Chaitam samasatha. Madbhakta etad vijñāya madbhavaya upapadyate. Means the person who comes to know all of this which I have just taught, he said that person becomes qualified to reach my state. To merge with Bhagavan. That merging with Bhagavan, that is called in Sanskrit as mukti. What is it called? Mukti. Mukti is the feminine word, and if you want to use the masculine word, both meaning same. It is called as moksha. You have heard that word also? Sanskrit language has the gender words, right? So the masculine word is moksha, and the feminine word is mukti. So merging with Bhagavan, like a drop of water merging with the ocean, that thing is called as mukti or moksha. And Bhagavan says, the one who studies these 3 things which I just taught, that person becomes fit to merge with him. Alright. Okay. Now, Bhagavan will get into another topic, but he will get another topic tomorrow in the next temple. Today temple time finish. So now tomorrow's temple is right here, next door. You all can come. This is Lima. Lima you say or Lima? Lima. Next door to your country here, and that side there's a country called Peru. The capital of Peru is Lima, same spelling. But they say Lima. So I come all the time I say Lima. Today I found Lima. Okay. So tomorrow we are right here in Lima, next door. From 6:30. It starts at 6:30 p.m. Not 6 o'clock. 6:30. Okay. So tomorrow will be night number 79. It's coming down to our close now, isn't it? It's sounding like it will finish just now. So let me tell you a few announcements. I mentioned one of them in the beginning. On the 3rd of May at 5 p.m. 3rd May, 5 p.m. we are concluding the grand finale of these 108 nights at the Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground in Georgetown. Gandhi Youth. And it's going to be a massive program. If some of you can come, it will be wonderful. If you're thinking about a place to stay on that side, you can stay at the ashram and come the next day. It's a Saturday evening, and it will finish by 6:30 or so, right? Then with dinner and presents for everybody. We are planning a big program like that. All right. The ashram is in Manripo, and if you cannot come back the same day and you want to bunk out at the ashram, you're most welcome. All right. Okay. This is a bookmark we have made for this occasion. We have printed one for everybody. Please have one to mark this 108 night in 108 temple. You can stick it in one of your books, and in another 20 years you'll see, oh, I was there, you know. And if you come to more than one temple, you get more than one. All right. One last announcement I'll tell, and well, a couple of more announcements, let me tell. The teachers that have been posted in Guyana now are two highly trained and qualified individuals, and they are qualified to teach Sanskrit and teach. They're planning a Pandit's course where you will learn to chant all the mantras and all the stutis and stotrams and all the suktams and all properly in proper Sanskrit and all. So they're planning that. Please look out for it. Keep in touch with them. They're at the ashram in Manripo. They're posted here in Guyana permanently now. They were posted in Toronto for 10 years, Toronto, Canada, and now they're posted in Guyana. We can be posted anywhere in the world, anytime. Our job is like that. We can, Guruji can just say, okay, now you go to Hong Kong. No, we just have to go, right? So now they are posted here, and so many things are being taught. Bhagavad Gita chanting is going on right now also. You can learn all of those things. Please stay in touch with them. I am not permanently in Guyana. I am just going everywhere like that. But they are permanently here. Right. So next one is the training for this type of teaching takes place in two places only, in Trinidad Ashram and in Mumbai Ashram in India. In English language, English Sanskrit. This training takes place in these two ashrams. So the next batch is starting in Trinidad on the 2nd of October. Now here are the qualifications to receive this training. First is you have to be 30 years and under. Second, you have to be having some university degree. You have to have some degree from some university. And third, you have to be unmarried. So then you can come and receive this training, right? So now here is the training. The training goes for 2 years. You have to stay in the ashram for 2 years. No holidays, not a single holiday in 2 years. No Sunday, Diwali, Christmas, nothing. Every single day classes. Sanskrit and Vedanta and all that. Second thing is, classes start at 5:30 a.m. every day and end at 8 p.m. Now it's only 7:30. It's still not end yet. 8 p.m. it ends every single day. For how many years? 2 years. And if after that you're still alive, then you can come and teach here like this. So this is the course. The next batch is starting on the 2nd of October. That's easy to remember. Also, that's Gandhi Jayanti. 2nd of October. Okay. If you know people who want to join, please tell them there's an online application. You have to fill out the online application, and then we'll consider all the applicants, and this has to go to India also and all that kind of thing. All right. Okay. Those are the announcements. Now we will have Aarti and we'll conclude. Gita Aarti. I know we are all used to Ramayana Aarti and Om Jai Jagadish Hare and all that. But for these 108 nights, we are doing Gita Aarti. All right. Okay. Let us all stand. ओम जय भगवद गीते मैया जय भगवद गीते हरि हिय कमल विहारी हरि हिय कमल विहारी सुंदर सुपुनी ओम जय भगवद गीते मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलाय तनो हरि त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। जोर से बोलिए बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। नमः पार्वती पदे हर हर महादेव।